movie begins with a storm unlike any other. A pregnant woman, racing home through sheets of rain, is suddenly struck by a bolt of lightning. In that single, blinding instant, her life ends, but her child's begins. The doctors rush to deliver the baby, and what they see leaves them frozen in disbelief. The infant's skin is as pale as snow, and not a single strand of hair covers his body. His eyes gleam with an unearthly glow. The father, horrified by the sight, abandons him without hesitation. But even as the newborn cries, the monitors beside him reveal something astonishing. His brainwaves surge beyond normal human levels, proving that this child is no ordinary being. Raised in secret by his grandfather, the boy grows up hidden in a dark cellar on an isolated farm. For 16 long years, he never steps outside. His only friends are the books stacked around him, thousands of them. But fate has a way of breaking its own silence. When his grandfather suddenly dies of a heart attack, the world finally discovers the boy who was never meant to be seen. When the sheriff and a kind social worker named Jesse arrive, they expect to find a feral child. Instead, they discover a quiet, polite young man with eyes that pierce through the dark. His name, he says calmly, is Powder. The basement is spotless, the shelves lined with books. When Jesse picks one up, Powder softly asks her to choose any page. Without looking, he recites it word for word. Astonished, Jesse realizes he has memorized not just one book, but all of them. His mind is vast, his manner gentle, but his very existence feels electric. And perhaps that's not just a metaphor. When they lead him toward a police car, its siren begins to wail on its own. The sheriff feels a chill as lightning flashes in the distance. Something about this boy defies explanation. That night, Powder's taken to a boy's home under Jesse's care. It's his first time among other people, and they stare at him with confusion and fear. His pale skin and unsettling calm draw whispers. The next day, the whispers turn to laughter. Teenagers can be cruel, and Powder becomes their target. When a bully named John mocks him in the cafeteria, demanding he balance a spoon on his nose, Powder instead stands it upright on the table. The room falls silent. Then, as if drawn by an invisible force, every piece of metal cutlery flies toward him, clattering in midair. Gasps fill the room. The boy can control metal itself. But instead of admiration, this miracle earns him only more hatred. Jesse, refusing to give up on him, enrolls him in a local high school, hoping education might help him blend in. In his first physics class, the teacher Donald Ripley demonstrates an experiment on electricity. But as the current hums through the coils, Powder begins to tremble. The lights flicker. Metal objects rattle. Then in an instant, a surge of energy leaps from the device and strikes him square in the chest. Ripley rushes to destroy the machine, horrified by what just happened. When he touches Powder, a strange, tingling warmth passes through his body, a moment of pure connection. Ripley realizes this boy is unlike any human he's ever met. He arranges a full medical test, and the results shock the experts. Powder's body is biologically superior, his brain activity surpassing the limits of genius. Scientists plead with him to join their research, dreaming of unlocking his secrets. But Powder hears their thoughts, their greed, their hunger for fame, and it disgusts him. He doesn't want to be a specimen. He only wants peace. That night, he escapes the boy's home, vanishing into the woods, finally breathing the free air he was denied for 16 years. There he encounters a barking dog, but instead of fear, he feels empathy. He kneels, strokes its fur, and the animal instantly calms. Soon after, a girl named Lindsay appears, the first person who sees him without judgment. Her presence warms him in ways he never expected. They talk for hours, and for the first time, he feels something like love. But peace never lasts long. Sheriff Barnum finds him and brings him back. The outside world, Powder realizes, is crueler than the solitude he once called home. Humans judge what they can't understand. He withdraws from everyone, finding solace in nature. Sitting on the earth, he closes his eyes and small animals approach him as if drawn by an unseen bond. One day, while wandering through the forest, Powder runs into John again, the bully, this time holding a shotgun. Before he can react, a distant gunshot echoes. They rush toward the sound and find a hunter, Harley, boasting proudly over a wounded deer. Powder kneels beside the dying creature, lays one hand on its wound and the other on Harley's hand, and suddenly Harley collapses in agony, feeling the animal's pain surge through him. The connection leaves both of them trembling. When the energy fades, Harley breaks down in tears, forever changed by what he's felt. He throws down his gun and vows never to hunt again. Powder has shown him that life, every life, is connected by invisible threads of emotion and energy. Later, Jesse visits Powder and begs him to stay, but Powder's voice trembles with exhaustion. A friend, he says, doesn't lock you away. His emotions erupt. Energy crackles around him. Lights flicker. The air hums. But even at his angriest, he refuses to hurt anyone. Jesse finally understands. This boy's pain is not from power, but from being misunderstood. Sheriff Barnum soon seeks Powder's help for something deeply personal. His wife has been in a coma for years, kept alive by machines, trapped between life and death. He asks if Powder can reach her. Powder agrees, placing one hand on the woman's head and the other on the sheriff's. In that moment, a telepathic bridge forms. The sheriff feels his wife's final thoughts, her love, her longing, her reason for holding on. She stayed alive not out of fear of death, but because she couldn't bear to see her husband and son drift apart. She wanted them to reconcile before she left this world. Tears stream down the sheriff's face as he promises her he'll make things right. A peaceful smile spreads across her lips, and she passes away quietly. Later, father and son embrace in forgiveness. Powder watches this from a distance, his heart heavy with longing. He knows now what it means to be loved and how rare it truly is. He seeks out Lindsay once more to say goodbye. They speak softly beneath the trees, two fragile souls who understand each other's loneliness. When they share a kiss, it's pure, innocent, and filled with light. But their moment is shattered when her father storms in, dragging her away, cursing Powder's very existence. Back at the boys' home, Powder retreats into silence. He packs his few belongings, ready to disappear forever. But fate has one last storm waiting. As he leaves, John and his gang corner him again. They rip away his clothes, shove him into the mud, laughing as thunder rumbles overhead. But the storm turns violent, almost sentient, as if the heavens themselves are enraged. Lightning flashes and suddenly John collapses. His heart stops. The laughter dies instantly. Powder rushes to him, placing his glowing hands on John's chest. A surge of electricity jolts through his body, reviving him. The bully awakens, shaken to his core. For the first time, he sees Powder not as a freak, but as a savior. Silently, he helps him escape. It's redemption born in the heart of the one who once mocked him. After countless struggles, Powder finally returns to his old farmhouse. The place that once sheltered him is now empty, repossessed, stripped of life. He sits in the cold basement where his journey began, surrounded by shadows and silence. Yet something inside him feels complete, as if he's come full circle. Soon after, Jessie finds him there. She breaks down in tears, apologizing for everything, for trying to change him, for never truly understanding him. Powder, overwhelmed, finally lets his walls fall. He collapses into her arms, sobbing like a child. For the first time, he feels what it means to be loved without condition. Moments later, Ripley arrives too, ready to take Powder somewhere new, somewhere safe. They plan to start over, but destiny has other plans. Sirens echo outside. The police are coming. Sheriff Barnum is among them. Seeing Powder again, he hesitates. He knows the boy isn't dangerous. He wants to let him go, but his deputy refuses, shouting orders. Tension fills the air, thunder rolling closer. Powder looks up at the storm clouds as if hearing something none of them can. He begins to walk toward the open field. Jessie calls out to him, her voice trembling, but he doesn't stop. The sky splits open, lightning weaving across the heavens like veins of pure energy. Powder closes his eyes and smiles, a peaceful, knowing smile. Then in a blinding flash, a massive bolt of lightning strikes him. For a moment, it's as if time itself freezes. His body glows white-hot, dissolving into countless points of light that rise toward the sky. Everyone stands in stunned silence as the particles swirl upward, merging with the storm itself. Powder has become energy, pure, radiant, and infinite. He has returned to the very force that gave him life. And in that brilliant light, something changes in everyone who witnessed it. They feel connected to him, to each other, to the world. Powder's journey ends not in death, but in transcendence. He was never meant to belong to this world. He came to remind it that humanity's greatest power isn't strength or intelligence, it's empathy. If you had powers that let you feel everyone's pain, would you embrace them or hide from the world? Tell me in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more powerful movie recaps from Great Animation Recaps.